Cali 26 back with another one. There's a lot of things going on in the world. So let's dive in. Let's go. All right, man. So check it out. A lot been weighing on my mind today. I just want to touch up on the subject. I want to talk to the young guys out here, and I just want to say, man, it's a lot of love to be gave out here, and we got to stop all this senseless killing, man. It's beautiful people in these neighborhoods, and we just make the neighborhoods so ugly. We complain about redlining and our property value of the homes in these neighborhoods, particular neighborhoods, going down, not being worth nothing, and they nice homes. So I just feel like we as people, adults, we need to do what we can to tighten up in these neighborhoods. It's cool for us to laugh and joke, and I do my little part in that. I try to have a good time. But from a person that's coming from these neighborhoods and coming from these quote unquote slums, I just feel like, man, it's time out for all the bullshit. It's 2020. It's a pandemic going on. A lot of things that I'm seeing, like I said, since my transition from the streets, I'm seeing a lot of things. Politics seem to catch my eye. And me being a convicted felon, I done kind of alienated myself from those type of activities. But what I really want to touch on today is, and talk about today, is the crime that's going on in these neighborhoods. First, I just want to put out there, I just want to address the young folk that's contributing to the situation that I'm referring to. And I understand from music to movies to our culture as a whole, I understand that we've been misled. I was misled. To the credit of some of the older people that was coming up, that was around when I was coming up, there were people who tried to guide me in the right direction. Mainly my mother and my father, my uncles, and some of the neighborhood folk that wasn't no blood relative. They told me all the time. They used to call me Lanky. They used to call me Lank, they used to come to my basketball games when I was playing ball, and they would tell me, it's a different way. But that ain't what we here to talk about, what people told me when I was coming up. We here today to discuss what we can do for the younger people today, the people in their teens or early 20s. So I just want to say to those guys, it's cool to go to school. The streets ain't where it's at. I heard a lot of people saying fur is respect. That is totally false. Fur is not respect. It is not respect. And I heard a lot of young people saying being broke is not living. And they down on their luck. I know how it was. Your mother and father didn't make the best decisions, so you go about things the right way. See, when I was coming up and I had a chance to play ball, and me watching my mother struggle, it kind of affected that movement for me. Cause I would go to practice and play ball and I would get praises, but when I would come home, my lights would be turned off. My mother was not on drugs. I respect my mother to the fullest. She did have kids at a young age and she had multiple kids. So choices that she made when she was young affected her in her later years and as I was coming up. Now, could my mother have made better choices? Yeah, but the choices that she made led to me being on this earth. So, it was hard for me to play ball and come home to lights being shut off. So, of course, I turned to the streets. And that was easy for me. Now, I had people on my father's side that despised those type of activities, but when I was doing those type of activities, I was able to help my moms with bills. Now, you coming up, no, my mother, let's just set this record straight. My mother did not give me the okay to do the things that I was doing by any means. But if you coming up and you see overdue bills, they land on the table. They land around the house, you see them. So I will pick one up. And I would go do what needed to be done. I learned at an early age, I'd say around 12, 13, how to pay bills. So, with that being said, I know how it is for you young guys out here. Some of you young guys. Because I know your mother is the biggest thing to you, your mother or your father, and you don't want to see them struggle. Your brothers and sisters, they living in the same situation. You don't want that for them. So I get it. Because I've been there before. But I'm just trying to tell you is another way. Things that I done in my past, I wish I wouldn't have never done. And I understand people with bigger channels who can reach more people and they do a lot of bullshit and they got their shenanigans that they doing. They getting paid off their channel. But all I ask, if you haven't done it before, all I ask is from this day on, if you successful on YouTube, every now and then, man, just take time out of your busy schedule to address the situation that's going on in these neighborhoods and try to uplift a person that maybe hasn't had the luck that you have so far, and they look into other means of they looking for other means to provide for their family. And don't look down on them because it does get hard. It does get dark at times. I know this. And don't fault your parents for not educating you on things that they wasn't educated on. Just like I don't fault mines. But I try to, everything that I learned up into this time that I'm speaking to you now, I try to teach my children about money, about credit, about investing, education. My mother and my father are the best thing that ever happened to me. And now I give them, things that I have picked up along the way. I try to share it with them. And not saying they are the best parents that I could ask for. They really are. They're the best parents that I can ask for. I don't have no gripes with them. I watch both of them sacrifice so much for me just to go out in the streets and just do what I felt like I wanted to do. So while we on that topic, the parents that's out here, their kids out here committing these crimes, and I'm not gonna necessarily say it's their fault. They out here working, trying to make a way. They life wasn't my life. They doing the best that they can. And I just want to say that I see you doing what you got to do to provide for your children. This life gets hard, man. And just because one person was able to make the sacrifices to adjust doesn't mean that that was the situation for the next person. I just want y'all to keep that in mind. You know, if you successful right now, you don't live. If you come from where we come from and now you doing better for yourself and you feel like they could have made the same sacrifices that I made, you know how people tend to do. Everybody's life ain't the same. You wasn't dealt the same cards as another person. Even though you might have it hard, you still wasn't dealt the same cards that that person was dealt. I know y'all probably get it from time to time, like when you complain about a lot of stuff, and then you hear about somebody like kids that got cancer or something like that. They was dealt. You come from the same place that they come from, but look at the struggles that they going through. They child has cancer. They in the hospital, medical bills. I know that's kind of extreme, but that's just the example I chose to give in this situation. Or people, parents passing. I'm just trying to give you an example. Life, even though we come from the same place, things hit different. So I'm not asking you to sympathize with them per se, but I'm just asking you to try to be understanding and have an open mind. But to what I was initially here for, I just want to talk to the youth. When I was coming up, some of my friends, they used to say, if it was meant for us to be rich, we would have been born rich. And for so long, I believed that. I don't know why, but I believe it. And I know adults to this day that feel like that. It's no way for them to reach the success of other people in this lifetime. It's not enough time in the day for them to orchestrate that type of and accumulate that type of wealth. It ain't all about the money. It's about happiness and enjoying your time on this earth. Yeah, we all chase riches and we hope to obtain those things, but that's not what life is about. Life is about memories. And when you die, you want to die with memories, not dreams. So don't get caught up in chasing the money, chasing the women, chasing the car. Don't get caught up in all that. Just try to enjoy the time that you got with the people that you love. And that's another point that I wanted to make. Cherish your family, not the streets, man. And I'm saying that with all love, man, for somebody that wasted so much time in the streets. Like I said, I had 3 kids at the age of 16. Yeah, that's young, but I don't feel like that's an excuse for me missing so much time on my kids' life. I never turned none of my kids, I never turned them away. But I didn't put forth the effort to be in their life either. I was out here doing all the wrong things while all the important things was on the back burner. And to this day, I still try to make up for some of those stupid decisions that I made in the past. So that's another thing I wanted to say. You know, cherish your family, man. Your mother, your father, your sisters and brothers, and not these streets, man. Because the streets don't love you, regardless of what people say or what you might see in these music videos, on these documentaries. The streets don't love you. It don't. And I know the decks you might feel like the deck stacked against you, but you can overcome that. I promise you. Ain't nothing in life gonna be easy, but I promise you, you can overcome it if you put your mind to it and go for it, man. And just because you was born in poverty doesn't mean that's where you're gonna die. I talk, like I said one of my other videos. I know a lot of successful people. Like I'm talking about people that I can call and just go hang out at their house. I'm saying they don't know, the people that I know personally that's millionaires, know that they don't come from the same background that I come from. No, they do not. They're just people that I met along the way. Some I played ball with in high school, and they didn't grow to be successful. But that's not what we talking about. But what I'm trying to say is they will all say the same thing, and I would ask. I heard the same thing from one or two of them, and I would ask them. I would take that, and I would ask them. And the point I'm trying to make is they all would say they had their most fun trying to get to where they was trying to go, meaning they had the most fun trying to accumulate the wealth that they have now. Cause right now it ain't really, they ain't having that much fun. So the grind is where you have your best time. And some people might find that it's the hardest time. You know, they've been trying for years and years to get on their feet, and it's getting hard. They just keep hitting roadblock after roadblock. That's not, but to the people that has made it and has millions of dollars, that was their best times. I don't know, like I said, I'm not a big talker, man. I never been a big talker. I always been about action. So I'm just gonna sum it up like this: no matter how hard it get, man, just keep going. Just keep going. You're gonna hit roadblocks, but that them roadblocks does not mean by any means that success is not meant for you. Don't get caught up in that. Quitters quit. Winners keep going. And I believe some of you guys that chose to quit are winners at heart, man. So I just want y'all to keep going, man. And I hope to see y'all at the top. I really do. And another thing, man, that's weighing heavy on my heart. It's like a lot of these older guys out here, man, they tend to, you ever heard the saying misery love company? That's a true saying. Some of the older guys who don't see nothing for themselves, they can't stand to see you get to where you want to go. When they hear about your dreams, it really fucks with them. It hurts them in a way that you wouldn't believe. Just because they looking at it like the audacity of this young brother to feel like he could become something that I couldn't become. So they'll try to kill your dreams. They'll put you in situations where it's a lose-lose situation. These streets is not it, man. The streets is not it. I remember in my neighborhood, the streets used to be so full of people laughing, joking, having a good time. I mean, the streets, it would be 200 to 300 people on the street every day. Last time I was in my neighborhood, was 15 years ago. No, that wasn't the last time I was in my neighborhood, but I'm just saying those times that I'm referring to was 15 years ago. A lot of those people are dead and gone. Dead and gone. Some of them caught cases 15 years ago, and they just coming home today. A lot of them is dead and gone. 5 or 6 of them got life in prison. The streets is not where it's at, man. Cherish your family and every day that you got on this earth. There's nothing wrong with going to school. There's nothing wrong with getting a job. There's nothing wrong with that, man. I'm just trying to keep it up, honey. And you see on these music videos, all of the rappers, you listen to their albums, I don't understand what all the hype is about. And I'm not no hater by any means. But the music that's going on, I understand is catered to the younger audience. But how can you understand that? Every song that they put out, they kill at least 100 people. That's all that's been sold today is murder. That's all that's been sold today. So we can have a good time, we can laugh, we can joke, and all that, man. But ain't nothing. I come from the streets, man. I'm for real. I done did almost everything it is to be done in the streets. But I feel like any person worth listening to is a person that wants to have fun with their family nowadays. I find comfort in just coming home to my family, laughing, joking, barbecuing, whatever the case might be, man. It breaks my heart, man, to see kids dying in the neighborhoods nowadays. That's not where it's at. Now, like I said earlier, all these people, they got these bigger channels. If you haven't done it so far, it's never too late, man. Do your part and try to save these kids from these streets, man. We really got to, know what I'm saying, work on this. We really got to do our part. And to the young people, if this do hit your timeline or whatever the case might be, man, please, man. There's nothing wrong with going to school. There's nothing wrong with getting a job. Because that's what real men do. It's easy to sell drugs. It's easy to pull a trigger. It's easy. It's easy. And going to jail is not gangster. And it's the secret that they never told us coming up. What's gangster? If you born into a situation where generation after generation was just prison, murder, poverty, if you can change that for your family, that's gangster. And if you can do it without committing crimes, murder, selling death to your people, that's really gangster. Because a lot of y'all got a lot of brilliant ideas, but just don't know where to start. Don't know how to get where you going. You know where you want to go, but you don't know how to get there. And behold, you got your local drug dealer or your local bad influence right there. You don't have no mentor. But all the bad ideas is right there. They know you got a promising future. They know you got drive. They gonna try to kill that by any means. They gonna tell you can't do it because they couldn't do it. or they feel like they can't do it. Because we all got the same 24 hours. No matter what, they tell you it's a white man's world. They tell you all the wrong shit. They tell you, the white man run everything. That's false. You got to take a hold of your own destiny, man. You got to do what you got to do. You got to lay your own groundwork. It's your life. You got to live it. Cherish your family, man. Cherish your friends. Cherish your life. People told you all your life you probably wasn't going to be shit. That's because they feel like they ain't shit. So they try to project their feelings on you. Man, it's your life, man. Live it to the fullest. Go hard as you can. It ain't all about the money, man. It's about the memories. Till next time, it's your boy Cali 26. Peace.